exciting episode of Starfleet Boy, where we have a casual and informal conversation about Star Trek. Today we are focused on Star Trek Prodigy, episode 18, Mindwalk.
Episode 18.
Did I put episode 18 yet? I didn't put the little banner up. Hold on. Spoilers. Spoilers for Star Trek Prodigy, episode 18, Mindwalk. Benjinium's here, yay! Heart, a little LLAP, and a little smiley face. Right back at you, Benjinium.
Hey,
Uh,
Ben.
so Braxton, nice to see you again. It's good to have these streams with you. I miss you. How are you?
I am well, thank you. Hey, Starfleet Boy, Saturday greetings. Are you having a great
Saturday
day?
greetings. I'm having a great day. As great as a day can be, I guess. Consider it.
Is the
It's
weather nice and lovely, Miami?
it was raining all day, which I actually appreciate. Like not raining, it was like overcast and then it started raining and it's like a light drizzle all day. So it felt like like cold north weather and I appreciate that. So
Mm,
to me that was nice. How about you?
mm.
How's everything over in at Starfleet auxiliary headquarters over there?
Dude, it is cold here. I absolutely hate cold weather, but it's putting me in the Christmas spirit. We're just like
Very
a
nice.
a little more than a week away from Christmas. So I'm super excited about that, dude. I still gotta do like so much shopping, dude. Like I like go to
I
the store and I can't find the perfect thing, so I leave.
Braxton, I have not sent out a single card, but you know what my saving grace is?
Come on.
Like a lot of people don't realize this, but Christmas actually lasts until January. I don't know if you knew this, but it starts on December 25th and it
Dude,
actually goes
I
on
am
all
a
the way to January
believer.
6th.
I am a believer of the Christmas season, dude. Like let's just celebrate Christmas
Yeah,
for.
yeah. The holiday seasons too, because I actually celebrate Hanukkah too, which actually starts tomorrow. It starts
Oh,
tomorrow at sundown, if I'm not
the
mistaken.
18th.
Yeah, so happy Hanukkah. And we're gonna have a Christmas party on Trek Central tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. So come and tune in to that. That'll be a lot of fun. It'll be like
Oh
a
wow.
Christmas
Is there
special.
gonna be
A
booze, dude?
special. I'll be drinking booze for sure. I don't know.
Oh
I think
wow.
Captain
Oh
Jack might
wow.
be drinking booze, and who knows, Dom might be there too, so he might be drinking booze. So we'll
Now
see.
I know that Tex Track is making jambalaya, dude. What are you gonna make festive for the party?
uh, Well, he's not. That's just his own thing that he's doing jambalaya for. Hi, Tara. Nice to see you in the audience. Thanks for chatting. But yeah, uh, I think he's just doing his own thing. I'm not making jambalaya. But if I
Mm.
were making a Christmas treat, Braxton, it would probably be a fruit cake, like with liquor.
With rum?
With like rum or yeah, rum or I think what's the other one that's apropos of Christmas? It's for Christmas. It's what is that? The brand is I feel like what is that called? Not brandy. Yeah, I guess you could put brandy in a fruitcake. You could also put what is that stuff called? It's so delicious too. Like Remy Martin is that kind of liquor. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It's not
Or
rum. Is it? You said brandy already.
brandy or oh well, I can't remember now. Hold on, I have the internet. We all have the internet, which is very convenient, and I never use it. So Remy Martin cognac. I was trying to. You can
Mm,
put cognac.
mm.
Thank you, Tara. Tara said it at the same time. It's cognac. It's either cognac or cognac. You say cognac, I say cognac. How do you say it?
I say cognac.
Well, let's get cracking. There's folks in the audience, so let's talk about Mindwalk because I'm sure that our audience doesn't want to hear us talk about rum cakes or things like that all day. So crazy episode this week. Um the kids are under pursuit. Vice Admiral Janeway starts out in like unconscious in the episode, and like they come up with the brilliant idea to do this thing where to use Zero's telepathic abilities to reach out to Vice Admiral Janeway, and they're successful, but not in the way that they had hoped, because Jane, through a freak accident where a phaser fires like right at the same time as they're doing their connection, um uh it creates like a transference, and we get an episode of Freaky Friday on Star Trek Prodigy where Janeway and Dal swap minds. So we get Dal, up to shenanigans. Basically, is the only way I could really put it on the what's it called? The what's Janeway's ship called this whole time that's been chasing
It
the
starts with a
Dauntless?
D. The
Yeah, the
Dauntless, yeah.
Dauntless.
Mm.
Thank you. Jill, have you been sipping those cognac-filled bottles? Yes. Those chocolate bottles. Yes, I have. Not right now. Not before. Starfleet Boy had a long day, so he took a nap. So I just woke up from a nap. If I sound like a little out of it, but anyways, thank you, Jill. Anyways, the Dauntless. So yeah, on the Dauntless, and then Janeway wakes up on the Protostar and gets the download from the kiddos about what's been going on, and finally realizes this whole time they've been trying to protect Starfleet and not, they haven't been the bad guy. And we have this like wonderful encounter with Janeway and holographic Janeway, and Janeway purges all the bad code from Hollow Janeway and makes her whole again. It's such a touching moment, and we see Chakotay and all these things. And then to get back, they have to do a connection where they have to have some kind of physical contact, or at least reproduce the error with the phaser again. So through trial and error and charades, they figure out what to do, and they go on a spacewalk. Murph is holding Janeway doll, and doll is being is kind of trying to reach out, but then gets tractor beam. So Janeway does the phaser thing to herself, and they swap back, and we think, okay, that's great, but Dal is like, uh-oh, I created so much trouble on that ship. And so real Janeway wakes up in the brig, but then the Protostar this whole time has been racing towards Federation space, and finally arrives to a giant fleet of starships, and we're in big trouble because if they're successful, which how can they not be at this point, in boarding the ship, or and uploading information, or even creating communications, that's it. That fleet is toast, or the kids are toast. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm so nervous. But anyways, that's our episode. What'd you think of this episode, Braxton?
Likewise, dude. When the fleet materialized, I was like, oh my gosh, dude, how are the kids gonna get out of this? And then I saw Janeway in jail, and I was like, oh my gosh, how is she gonna get out of this in time to notify the fleet of what's happening? But this was a good episode. I was really worried um about them trying to like meet up in the warp bubble. I was like, oh my gosh, like can you do that? But hey, I'll suspend my disbelief. I was listening to Text Track,
Text
and
track,
he was
yeah.
saying that there was some precedent for being inside like another ship's warp bubble. I didn't remember that. But so yeah, I thought that was interesting. But this was a solid episode. I did enjoy Doll being different. Um, it was a fun episode.
Yeah, totally. In Star Trek Enterprise, they do this maneuver where they have to transfer Trip from one ship to the other, and so one of the NX, I think the NX-01 and the NX-02 or something, or the five or whatever, they like hover, like they're at warp, and they're like hovering right next to each other, kind of like one is upside down and the other one, like the other one's right side up or whatever, and they transfer Trip that way. So it has been done.
Oh wow, dude, that must have been
Eh,
in season 4 that I didn't watch.
Yeah, yeah. And if we remember that when the ships are at warp, uh, they create the static warp field, right? And this warp bubble, and space is moving around
around
them.
them.
Not like, yeah, they're not like traveling through space, if that makes sense, because they're folding or bent or warping.
Do you know
It's
what,
called
dude?
they're
I would
warping
not.
space.
I would not take that risk in order to get my body back. Like, if me and you had swapped Starfleet Boy, there is no way that I am going to subject myself to phase in order to try to get my body back. I'll just keep swords, dude.
But you're in spacesuit. Like, what are you afraid of if the warp bubble collapses and
Well,
then like
Janeway's
you're
number
back?
one said that it's possible they could burn up. I mean, what about if something goes wrong and like
Oh,
the
did
ships
he? I didn't hear him
get
say
out of
that.
sync? You know, like yeah, he was like, ooh yeah, like something about like being like burned up, and I was like, you know what? That seems very feasible that they could be they could be horrifically burned by this experience. Yeah,
We're not gonna let that happen on a show that's also including kids as part of the audience,
and
Braxton.
just
It's
imagine if
like,
Janeway were still in Dahl, you know, when Dahl got to Starfleet, got to the like the Armada, Janeway could be best to like talk it out like diplomatically.
they're
She's
not
like,
gonna
you know
believe
what?
Janeway. They're not gonna
Like,
believe Janeway though. They're gonna be like, "Oh, you're not Janeway. Like, prove it." And she's not gonna be able to be like, "Oh yeah, remember when Chloe dropped her paints?" Or and then I blamed Chloe or whatever for the paints.
mm,
Her poor little sister,
mm,
who she blamed.
mm,
Janeway did.
dude,
She's
and
not
it's
gonna be able to like prove that to anyone else, like, except for Hollow Janeway. No one's gonna believe Doll as Janeway, I don't think. But you're right. Janeway could probably use the Phoebe. It was I said Chloe. It was Phoebe. Thank
you
you,
know,
Tara.
like it's also a shame that other communication devices might not exist at this time because like maybe you could just like call the enterprise's phone number or something instead of like have it to like make a communication like through the system's computers that would like
What
jeopardize
phone number?
Starfleet.
What phone
Like
number? I would. I love that idea. Like
I mean
the Enterprise has like a phone number, like an old
like
traditional like cell phone
what
like
about like
line.
when you want to like send a text to like 611 or like something like that? I mean, look, I don't know, dude. Like, I think that I mean, do people have personal communication devices in Star Trek?
I get the impression that you could have a phone number of some kind, like in the future they seem to be like in the future you just kind of say like open a line with Braxton and it knows, but it has to have like a phone number. It's like today, like when I say to my phone, my electronic digital assistant, call so and so, the number's saved in there, but it doesn't tell me, like I don't need to remember the number. So I bet that's how it is. Like people do have like a number of some kind, but also in the future with so many people, it's probably like a really long number. Your subspace, that's what it is. You have to have like a subspace phone number or something like that. That makes sense. Like that there would be one. That's a really good question. I wonder if
You
they've
know,
answered that in Star Trek.
I was just
Remember on
thinking,
Lower Decks, they were trying to choose a number for the planet, for the whole planet.
mm,
They were trying to figure out like what the subspace frequency number or whatever would
mm,
be. So I imagine that like within that planetary number, every citizen gets like their own way of being contacted. Cause yeah, it makes sense. I don't know. But I have no idea. It's a good question. Like, how do you call people in the future? But you can't call anyone, Braxton. Like, as soon as you open a line, that living construct is gonna send itself through that line and
mm.
cause problems. Lots of
but
problems.
but so, I don't know. Like somehow I was, yeah, yeah, okay.
But they did charades in this episode. They like figured that out. Like they figured out ways to communicate. Like a lot of I forget who it was who said this. I think it was Dave last night on Text Track. Said like this is the episode where a lot of people were looking out of windows at other people, and it's true. Like I guess they'd actually be called portholes, but
Mhm. It reminded me of
um,
Andor when the prisoners were like sending each other signals and they were like doing it through like the windows as they were like lined up.
What was your highlight moment in this episode? Like, what was the moment that really you felt stood out the most in this
I think
episode?
the moment that stood out most to me was when Captain Janeway like came back into the ship and Cynthia, she was like, "Oh, Captain," and she like reached for her phaser, and then because she was like, "Oh shit!" Like I've been made, you know,
Yeah,
and
totally.
then Janeway's acting like totally crazy and like not expected, you know. So yeah, that was like what stuck out to me. I was like, "Ooh, Cynthia, she was ready to shoot."
It's true. It's true. She was ready. She's not messing around. I don't, and I wonder how she was gonna explain it too. If she did, let's say she stunned Janeway, what was gonna happen after that? You know, like on the bridge. Like that might have been wild, right? Like she could have, like maybe she wouldn't even stun. Maybe she'd have, like knocked everyone out like a wide beam or something like that, and taken over the Dauntless. Who knows? Um,
Dude, I think that she would have tried to like shoot everyone or as many people as possible.
right.
I think that she would have been killed in a gunfight on the bridge, a phaser fight on the bridge. And I
She
actually
probably
want
would
to
have.
see her die because she's been doing so much trickery, dude. Like she has deceived Starfleet, you know, like she's like masquerading.
I
She
have
has
a weird
terrible intentions for Starfleet.
I have a weird feeling like how are we gonna wrap this up in 2 episodes? So yeah, she might die. It might be a case where who knows, or maybe the divine there's so many like lives on the table, Braxton.
Dude, I
Like
feel like the
it's
diviner is like remorseful,
he
you
is.
know.
He had that scene, right? Like he was just
hmm
like he's like, all right, Janeway. Although he didn't know he was
hmm
talking to Doll, he might have felt differently if he knew it was the boy. Um, Tara says when Dal dropped the phaser, didn't it float through the warp bubble edge and burn up? It's unclear whether it burned up or just dropped out of warp. But if Tysus said it was going to burn up or something, that could be true. But who knows? I mean, there are all kinds of radiation things that could happen also within a warp bubble. Who knows that prolonged excursions could be bad for you. Jill says, "I'm surprised that the living construct didn't jump from suit to suit. No electronics in that suit. It's not necessarily that it jumps from electronics to electronics, but it seems like you have to open communications with the ship. So maybe, yeah, it's true. It's possible that I don't know how it works. Maybe they didn't design it to affect spacesuits, Jill, because they were more interested in crippling the Federation technology and wanted to give people a chance to escape. Like they weren't necessarily, you know, bent on carnage or killing, but more like disabling tech. So maybe that's why the suits, EV suits and shuttles or escape pods might not be affected by the living construct. That would be my headcanon for why it doesn't affect the suits. Um, and I guess the LC can't travel on a phaser beam either. Yeah. The LC, the living construct, can send the ship to warp, but it can't control communications. Oh yeah, like it's a good point. Like it seems like it can't open hailing frequencies, or can it? And we just haven't seen it do it yet. Maybe it's waiting for the right
Mm,
time because it's like what good would it do with just one ship, right? Like now we have a whole fleet, so who knows? Oh my god, it's so scary. I don't know
mm.
what's gonna go on. Jill also says I would find it more satisfying to see these characters see the light and be redeemed rather than die. I agree. What about you? You want to see the Vindicator die, though. We heard you say it
I
just a minute
do.
earlier.
You know, now that her bad subroutines have been purged now, maybe hologram Janeway will fight the living construct in the next episode or two.
That's. I think there's gonna be like some kind of stand up, standoff or something. I'm really scared that they will have to scuttle the protostar, and if they do that, they might have to
Not
lose.
Chakotay.
Well, also just lose Janeway. I don't know. It's very
Mm,
interesting.
mm. But she's just subroutine. They can like make her again.
Yeah, but will she have the same like experiences and everything? Because like if
Mm.
all her memories are on Protostar and she can't like, what if she can't like commute because of the living? I don't know. It's so scary. I don't know.
Mm. Mm.
But yeah,
Mm.
hopefully she can. I don't know. I have a bad feeling about the Protostar not gonna make it. I don't know. It's kind of a scary situation, but I'm hopeful because I really love the Protostar. Um, I guess someone said on Text Trek that they could just there's no real consequences for losing your ship, so maybe they'll just make another one if that happens. Like in Star Trek, you always get the NCC 1701A or whatever.
So
So
isn't its drive unique?
yeah, well, the Protostar drive is new, but it's not. I'm sure they could it was developed like the technology was developed like Admiral Janeway and B'Elanna apparently had something to do with it. So yeah, it's possible that they can make more. They probably already have a fleet of them. Who knows? Like in service. So it's possible that there's more of them. Let's see. We talked about. Oh, what did you think of the? What did you think of the seeing more of the Dauntless, like seeing the interiors and walking around the ship and seeing more of the crew and like the L cars panels of the Dauntless and all that good stuff. Just like more of the
Oh,
yeah, just seeing
dude.
more of the Dauntless. Yeah.
So, the L cars panel. So I was looking at the L cars panel like when I was doing my rewatch, and I paused it to get up and get some water. And it was on the scene when Essentia had reached for her phasers, but the L cars panel was up, and I was like, you know what? I have seen that before. What is that? Why does that look so familiar? And it looks literally just like the cardio equipment at the Planet Fitness, dude, with like all like the purples and the yellows and the reds, dude. It looks just like the cardio equipment at at Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness. I'm looking it up right now.
Dude, it's like the purple, the yellows, the reds. Dude, it was totally, giving me that.
That's really funny. I'm not seeing any like cardio displays
But
come
yeah,
up, but
like
I
if
believe
you were on the
I would
equipment,
love I would love it if my gym had L cars giving me the stats of like my workout. That would be really amazing.
dude, join a Planet Fitness tomorrow, dude. They're only $10, dude,
I have like a home gym. I
and they're
don't know if I wanna
literally
like
everywhere.
I know. Maybe you could take me as a guest when I come when I come to visit. I think you're allowed to do that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That's funny that that's what you thought of though. Um, Tara says it's running on a protostar. I think it's unique and experimental. No. Final episodes are called super. Oh yeah, supernova. So does supernova refer to the? Oh gosh, it probably does.
Wow.
Oh, Tara,
Wow.
Tara.
Oh, wow.
State
Look at her.
stating the obvious, but also the hard
Mm,
truths here. Like, it's
mm,
true. It is
wow.
called supernova, and you're right. Well, a nova. So like if protostar is like a baby star, yeah, Tara, deep. Like we hadn't thought about.
But you have to, um, you have to kill the living construct. I was thinking somehow that like maybe the living construct is in one of those containment vessels from lower decks, where like the bad AI is.
Oh, like that. It's probably already in there. I don't know. Yeah, because if the
Do you,
oh wait,
do
no,
you remember that
Prodigy
lower
takes
decks
place.
one?
Prodigy takes place after Lower Decks, so the living
Mm,
construct is not in there. But yeah,
mm,
won't be in that prison. But I know it could let all those guys out. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I was just thinking about that. I was just like remembering like, where these like bad programs like
Oh yeah, they're
are
all
in
there
lower decks.
on.
And I was like, ooh, yeah, there's so many of them. Like maybe the living constructs in there too.
They're on the Daystrom Institute. Yeah, so yeah, that's where I imagine they would put the living construct as well if they were able to capture it successfully. So who knows? Ugh, I don't want the proto star to blow up. Springtime says, when will we see the rubber ducky room which holds the ship's top secret info? Every ship has a rubber ducky room. Did you know that, Braxton? It's like a joke. There's like,
Mm,
I think Michael Okuda put a little rubber duck, not a little one, but it's little on the map, but it's huge if you look at it in scale,
mm,
all by itself in a room. So it seems like there's one, there's a giant rubber duck on every ship. I think it's like a vehicle. I think it's a rubber duck vehicle.
mm. I didn't notice the rubber duck, dude.
Tara's wondering if the living construct will kill the protostar, causing a supernova. Oh,
Mm,
that's what supernova totally stands. That's why
mm,
it's called supernova part one and two.
mm,
Oh no.
mhm,
Well, protostar better go out in a blaze of glory is all I gotta say.
mhm.
I hope
Oh,
that living construct is cooked.
mhm. The living construct, like we know that it's terrible. Well, I mean, it seems like it's terrible. That it's
It
really
is. It's
gonna
made
do this
to,
like
yeah, yeah, it's made to
terrible harm to
destroy.
Starfleet. But I don't know. I feel like I want a little more about it. Um, like, I mean, is it AI or is it simply just like a virus?
It seems like it has no, from what we've seen, like it doesn't really talk or anything like that. So I would consider it more like a virus. Like it's a program, not a living. It, well, it's called the living construct, so I don't know. But it hasn't shown much interaction other than, I guess it's been pulling the strings all along. Like through Janeway, through the ship, like when the kids wanted to get the ship back to Starfleet and return it to Starfleet, everything was going fine. As soon as they decided that that was not the goal, that's when the living construct kind of like came in. So yeah, I agree with Jill. It's like living and highly intelligent, but like what is exactly, how exactly is it alive? We don't really know. I don't know. We have two episodes to find out, I guess, but um at the moment I'm not sure. I just know it's scary.
Mhm.
Like, but
Oh,
yeah, it
also,
resembles a virus for sure.
mhm. Also, this is further along than where we are right now. But another thing that really hit me was when Janeway said that Dahl could not be a part of the Federation because he's an augment. So I feel like they just didn't drop that and are just gonna leave it. I
Yeah, it
mean, just
looks
to
like,
see what's gonna happen.
I wondered if this was going to come up because I guess Una is going through the same thing on Strange New Worlds, and so yeah, there's a lot of stuff to think about. Um, on our Twitter Spaces discussion, folks seem to think that they were going to figure out a way to let Doll in, but they couldn't figure out how to let 709 in, and so I don't know if Doll's going to actually make it in the Starfleet or not.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was heartbreaking, right? To hear Janeway say like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Doll's an augment. Like, he's never gonna be in Starfleet. They're never gonna let him in." So it's kind of sad. He's the one who wants to, like, he's so like, aw, it's really sad.
Do you think? Do you think that we'll see more of Dahl's latent telepathic abilities?
Maybe, I don't know if we'll see any more of it beyond this one use case because it seemed like they were like not like, it seems like he definitely has some kind of like, perception, heightened perception. Doll's like a very unique and special kind of individual. So yeah, maybe we will see more of this kind of stuff from him. But you mean like in the next two episodes?
Hmm.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, maybe he'll use some way to, maybe he can use some of his latent abilities in other ways. Who knows? So yeah, I don't know. That I hadn't thought about that. That's cool. That's a good idea.
Dude, I mean, hey, he's got QDNA, dude. He just may snap and do something,
He
dude.
did, right? He had QDNA.
Hmm.
Oh, that's right. Oh my gosh, what if Doll is like crazy? Like he could just snap it, but he needs a little button. Otherwise, without the enhancing thing, he's just like a regular person. I understand. It's like how Zero had to enhance his telepathic abilities. He can't do it on his own because the impression I got from Dr. Jago is that his creators didn't want him to have like the most extraordinary abilities of those species, but just like be part of the like have like I guess like uh regular traits, like
Mm.
just like or just like latent traits from those
Mm.
species.
All he got from the cube was arrogance, dude.
Did you come around for Doll at all in this episode? By the way, or is he still on your list, the bottom of your list?
Oh, Doll's still on the bottom, dude. I still don't like Doll.
Tara says so. Doll's augmentation allows for hive mind with Zero, which allows them to communicate with Starfleet, saving the whole Federation. And no exception for Doll. No workaround. Nah, he'll be in the Starfleet. Yeah, a lot of people hope they'll make an exception, but we hasn't saved the day yet, so we don't know. Janeway's in the brig, the fleet is upon us, so he might not get that chance. So we'll see. um, what did you think of how Brett Gray chose to interpret Kate Mulgrew when he was doing the Janeway character in the episode, and then vice versa? What did you think of Kate Mulgrew's impression of Dahl when she was doing when she was doing her impression of his characterizations?
I think that both actors really gave it a good go.
Yeah, I agree.
Text Trek was saying that when people do body swaps, that one actor like reads the lines like as they would read it as the character, and then the other person like imitates that. And so I was wondering maybe if that's what they did. But I thought that both of the actors gave it a good go. I was like, ooh, that's the doll that I want to see you know, and with Captain Janeway, with Doll like
That's a
in
really
her
good
brain.
That's a really good point. He's under the wing of Hollow Janeway. When he grows up, he's probably going to be a lot like Janeway, right? Like he's going to have her kind of like he's going to access her vibe as his own captain, and I kind of love that idea of like that we got a glimpse of like how Dal could be as a cat, like as a mature like actual captain, right? Like someday,
Oh
like that's a cool.
wow! Oh
I hadn't thought
wow!
about that, right? But it's true.
Oh
So in a way, like
wow!
that could be what Dal is like. Oh my god, I got goosebumps. I was thinking
Oh
of like
wow! Dude,
what
I didn't
Dal
think
could be
about that.
like,
Wow!
right? You really like Dal as Janeway, but that's who he's gonna be when he grows up. He's gonna like remember everything Janeway taught him, and he's gonna be just like that. That's so cool.
Dude, he's gonna be like Janeway mixed with Han Solo, because like since he can't be in Starfleet, he's just gonna be
I
like a rogue.
know.
He's gonna be a rogue lawman.
But I mean, let's see. Who knows? Maybe they'll let him in. Tara says Emmy nominations for both actors. I agree. Yeah, Kate Mulgrew's incredible. She looked like she was having fun too with the doll stuff, like pew pew and all that stuff. Like doing all the crazy
Mhm.
doll impressions was really funny.
This
Uh,
episode really brought both Janeways back for me, redeemed both of them. I was really, really displeased with hologram Janeway after last week. And I just kept feeling like Admiral Janeway was simply just too aggressive. But, I feel like this episode really softened Admiral Janeway. And, you know, I was happy to have like that face to face and to know that like now like the bad stuff has been purged and like we can actually trust hologram Janeway now. So this
yeah,
episode did a lot towards like rebuilding the prodigy Janeway in my eyes.
nice, nice. You were like this was kind of like the Janeway that you expect, right? Like there's that one moment I love where she's after they've told her everything, she stands up and she's like I made quite a few assumptions and they were all wrong. And I was like,
Mhm.
oh, that's so sweet. And
Yeah.
then when Rock Talk was like, and she's like, one day you're going to make a great science officer. And then like they hug
Mhm.
and stuff. Like it was very
Mhm.
cute. Like it was nice having her on board. And then vice versa. It's like, hey, you antennas, you're in charge on the show. Too. I love Tysus. I think he's a cool first officer. I hope he gets his I hope he gets some promotions as well. It might be nice to see.
I like Tyson
Um
also.
here we have, let's see, Springtime says, could we get a Star Wars Clone Wars kid friendly next Wolf 359? Oh, like will that be what happens next? Yeah, it feels like there's going to be like a kid-friendly carnage coming up in the next
Mm.
episode. I'm
Mm.
wor- I'm worried about that living construct, man.
Mm.
Um, Tara says the Federation would have created a hollow of Janeway if they weren't wouldn't have created a hollow of Janeway if they weren't okay slash happy with cadets officers emulating her. So they may have a whole bunch of future cadet captains in her mold. Yay! I love that idea, but I think Hollow Janeway, my impression is, was specifically created to be kind of like an advisory hologram to Chakotay. I don't think there's like a training hollow at Starfleet Academy, but I wouldn't mind if I was trained by Hollow Janeway. But I think this whole like mentoring kids things was not in her original programming, but she just happens to be doing it really well because she's Hollow Janeway. She is treating these guys like cadets because that's what kind of like the living construct wanted her to do. Um, so yeah, but now she's back to normal. So and she still loves those kids, so it's fine. Jill says Tysus blew it in this episode by putting all their eggs in one basket. Tyses. Um, what did he do?
I don't remember what he did. To put all
Remind
the
us how he put all the eggs in one basket, Jill. I guess it's like I guess it's because he was. I mean, like he was. he was. He was influenced by Essentia in the one scene where she was like, "This is what we should do." The admiral really wanted the ship, so I think he was influenced by her, but I don't remember.
and she's like, "Oh,
Um,
we can't stop them all by ourselves. Like they
oh
have a
yeah,
plan
yeah,
set."
that was and then the whole fleet summoning the fleet to one spot, but that was Essentia. Yeah, you're right, but he blew it. He made the call. It's true. Good point. So yeah, he called the whole fleet, but how is he supposed to know? Like, he doesn't know what's going on. He's just thinking, oh, if we have a show of force, maybe that'll like put this to an end. Finally, it's a lot. Excuse me, it's a logical decision. Um, Tara says yes. I think it's vague and possible that Chakotay had her to help him. Hopefully, nothing inappropriate. Delete the wife. Yeah. I think Chakotay. Speaking of Chakotay, how touching was that scene where Hollow Janeway shows that log of Chakotay, calling the Mayday, and she turns and she's like, "Do you know, how is he or where he is?" And like Hollow Janeway's like, "No, I don't know." And like regular Janeway's like, "Hold it," I call her right, Vice-Admiral Janeway, Dal is holding her wrist tighter, and it's just like, oh my god, I was like so moved by that. It's like,
Mhm.
uh, but yeah, I hope they find Chakotay. It'll be really nice to see Janeway find her friend. Um, let's see here. Jill says even in the Klingon War, they sent the Enterprise out of danger. That's true. They did. The Federation sent the Enterprise. Admiral Cornwall sent the Enterprise out of danger. It's true. She wanted the best to survive. Um, let's see here. Springtime says, "I'm betting on seeing what we didn't get to see in Best of Both Worlds. Just kid friendly, but I'm betting it will be good." We'll see. That's next week. I'm so excited. What else about this episode do we need to hit on? What haven't we talked about, Braxton, in the audience? I feel like we talked about everything.
Hmm.
Oh, the
Um,
spacewalk itself, we already talked about that. Um, the diviner, we talked about him. I think wow, we did a good job. Did we cover everything? I feel like we
we
covered
talked
everything.
about Essentia, like we talked about Dahl not being able to be in Starfleet.
That's
Oh,
right.
he's gonna be so crushed when he finds out, dude.
It's yeah, it's not gonna be.
Does anyone know besides Gwen?
She said it in front of Gwen, Rock Talk, and Zero. I feel like
Mm,
so the whole crew,
mm,
and we can't forget Murphy.
mm.
So yeah, everyone knows. Oh, we didn't talk about Murph. He did do a amazing job in this episode, being a stretchy tether to hold Dal to the ship.
Dude, Murph facilitates things, dude. I was worried about him. I was like, oh no, like Murph, like don't like stretch him beyond his ability. I wouldn't want him to like snap
I
off or
I
something.
think he could stretch more. I don't think he was stretching. I don't think he would. I think he's scared, but I think he could do more. I think he
Mm,
could have stretched more because like you could probably get Murph to be like a thin like thread if you want. I mean, if you wanted to, right? Like I
hmm.
don't know. I'm just like,
Ooh,
how far can you stretch slime?
we didn't talk about phaser hangover yet.
Oh yeah, like what? Yeah, like a phaser hangover is a real thing.
Yeah, yeah, I was like, oh wow, like being phasered makes you feel away. That totally makes sense.
Have you ever been tasered?
Thank God, no.
Have you ever been knocked out? I haven't either. I'm just curious. Like, have you ever been
No.
knocked out in any way?
No.
I've knocked myself out accidentally with a hammer. I was like, I was taking a screw out of a piece of wood, and the hammer came loose and hit me on the head and knocked me out. And I did have a hangover or
Oof.
a headache, I should say,
Oof.
after. Well,
Wow.
well, I had a full. It was like a concussion,
Mm.
basically.
Yeah.
Like so, and I didn't damage my skull. I have a good thick skull, but but yeah,
Mm.
imagine it hurts like that. Like I would like to be tasered just to feel it. It feels
Mm.
like you can recover from a That'd be the closest thing to getting stunned, don't you think? Like being tasered.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Ooh, dude, I wouldn't want to do because like you see people get tasered and they're like,
It's true, they do. But that's what I'm saying. Like it'll kill your electronics, right? Like I don't know.
that would be terrible, dude.
Jill says if our kids lose their agency, I'll be a bit bummed, but it's okay, I guess. Do you mean like if they get captured by Starfleet, like or what? Like the living construct takes over so much that they can't do anything. But yeah, it would be sad. Um, let's see here. Could the Dauntless be the hero ship for the next season? Oh, I wonder if we do lose the Protostar. I wouldn't mind the Dauntless. She's grown on me. But whoa, Starfleet was having a hair malfunction here. Uh,
Mm.
look at that strand. It looks so bad. Hold
I
on,
mean, it
let's
would be
fix it.
so weird to have hologram Janeway and real Janeway working on the same ship. Hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Season two is gonna be interesting. I don't know what to expect.
Well, we don't even know what to expect at the end of season one yet, so let's get through it and we'll find out.
Mm, mm,
Speaking of which, so we've done a little speculating throughout the episode. Um, I guess we'll give it our ratings here and just any kind of final guesses as to what might happen next week. I give this episode another 10. It was very touching. I think I talked about it, but the most moving scene was definitely the meeting of Hollow Janeway with the Vice Admiral in Dal's body. This episode was just so cleverly uh, done and written. I mean, like, this is like a trope that you see a lot in science fiction, people switching minds and stuff like that. We've seen it certainly on Star Trek before. We just saw it on Strange New Worlds, but Lower Decks, oops, sorry, Prodigy made it fresh and new and really nice. So I really like that a lot. Yeah, so it gets another solid 10 from me, Braxton. What about you?
Hmm. Well, I can't give it 10 because I hate cliffhangers. I hate not feeling fulfilled by the end of the episode that I've watched. So I give it a 9. This was a good episode. It drove our story forward. You know, I'm really wanting Cynthia to get her due. And I'm feeling like the diviner is gonna do something good in the next 2 episodes. Like
I have that
I
feeling too. I agree with
I
that.
feel like his heart is changing. It's Christmas time, so like hopefully like he's feeling like warm hearted, you know.
Oh, the next
Um
episode is it's Christmas time episode. Coincides with Christmas week. So yeah, and then the final episode coincides with New Year's. So that's crazy.
So yeah, but I'm expecting because of Supernova, I'm expecting an explosion of some sort. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But I especially want Cynthia to get her comeuppance.
I'm gonna make the same. I have the same prediction about the diviner for sure. I think he's gonna have some kind of like redemptive moment. At least I hope so. He seems to really care about Gwendala. The scene with him and Janeway in this really kind of prove it. Um, I think. Um, I think that I think that the Vindicator, Essentia, is either gonna get away or before or it's gonna be one or the other, like die or get away.
Mm,
I'm not sure which one, but I have a
mm,
feeling because I don't know. There's something she's so new. I don't think they're gonna just kill her character, so I think she might get away. I think Aaron Harvey was the one who predicted that last night, and I kind of agree with that prediction on Text Track. I don't want to believe it, but Supernova,
mm,
the title makes me believe it. I
mm,
don't want to talk about it, but I think we are gonna lose the protostar, and no, I don't
mm.
even have a model of the protostar, Braxton. I don't even have a protostar model.
Oh my
Where's the
gosh.
model? Where's the
Oh my
protostar
gosh.
model? I want a model of the protostar.
You have
Where's
to
the
settle for an NFT, dude.
no, no NFTs, please. I don't know how we're gonna get Chakotay, but since it's a part one or a part two, maybe the protostar does go into the future
Mm,
at some point, and then maybe part two is where everything gets like maybe the Dauntless somehow chases the protostar, or maybe I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I think they're gonna go get Chakotay as well. So yeah, a lot's gonna happen. I feel like in the next, well, a lot could happen in the next 2 episodes. So yeah, very exciting. Let's go back to the audience, and then we'll say goodnight. Thanks for coming on this late edition of Starfleet Void. We usually go on at 3 p.m., but personal stuff prevented me from doing so. So let's see what it says here. The kids are great problem solvers. Breaking them up would be a loss. It's true. Is it me or is Prodigy and Lower Decks the best new Star Trek? And everyone does seem to say so. I agree with Jill. What do you think, Braxton? Best new Star Trek?
no, I prefer Discovery the most. Strange New Worlds is second for me. Um, Lower Decks is third. Prodigy is fourth, and then Picard is last.
Well, guess what? Picard's coming up next. You gotta come on our discussion series when we do Picard, even if you don't like it. You have to come. I'm forcing you. Braxton's like, I might be missing those days.
Dude, I watch it like every week, like as soon as it's not as soon as it's available. Like I get up in the morning to watch it, even though I don't think it's a good show. You know, it's Star Trek, so I have to watch it as soon as it's available, even if I don't think it's the best thing.
Very nice. Jill says if the Vonnegut characters realize that blaming Starfleet for their woes is stupid, they may both have a change of heart. Yeah, it is kind of stupid to blame Starfleet, but I kind of get why they do, but also I kind of don't.
I totally don't get it, dude. Like they destroyed themselves, and they're like, "Oh, well, Starfleet didn't do anything about it."
But it looks like Starfleet, because they didn't take sides, like just let the whole thing de-escalate. Like it looks like Starfleet could have helped in some way. So I don't know. We don't know the whole story yet. So yeah, we're that's like two more episodes to find out what the nuances of that are, I guess, because we're not quite sure. It doesn't make sense from the outside, but who knows? Maybe there's a good reason. But yeah, yeah.
Like I feel like what they'll sit down and talk about it, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, like these things happen," and then someone will be like, "I don't even see why you're mad because I don't."
That's Janeway. I don't understand why you're mad. Well, this has been a lot of fun. Thanks for joining me, Braxton. Thank you, audience. It was a lot of fun reading your comments, and can't believe we didn't realize that it's Supernova Part 1, Part 2. Something's gotta happen to the protostar. So
Oh
good
my
call out
God.
there. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But we'll find out. So we'll see you guys next week. Live long and prosper. And you can follow Braxton on Twitter at
Zero two
Leviathan
six.
026. One day I'm gonna remember your freaking number, your phone number. One day I'm gonna remember your digital phone number, Leviathan 026. So go follow Braxton there. Live long and prosper, and we will see you guys